Georgia Tech postgame press conference following today's game versus Notre Dame. We'll start out with an opening statement from head coach Jeff Collins, and then we'll have questions. Coach Collins, whenever you're ready.
One of the best offensive lines in the country and one of the top 10 defenses in the country, both total and scoring. I do think our guys battled. There's still a lot of things that we can continue to get better at. But as far as the effort, the competitiveness, the things that we harp on in this program, I think we showed that today. And obviously you're always hurting when you lose, regardless of who it's to. But the team battle, they fought, and there's a lot of things that we can build on, a lot of things that we have to continue to get corrected. But with that, I'll just open up for questions.
If you have a question, please use the raise hand function within Zoom. We'll call on people individually, beginning with Bailey Johnson from the Atlanta Journal-Constitution.
Hey, Bailey.
Hey, Jeff. Hey. Looks like it took y'all till late in the third quarter to start to get things going on offense. Just sort of what was going wrong for y'all early in the game?
Well, first of all, you got to give credit to Notre Dame. I mean, that is one of the top defenses in college football. We kept trying to move things around to get some things started. We found our rhythm, in the second half. Really proud of the way they continued to battle. Our offensive staff continuing to communicate and finding some good rhythm. And then I thought the guys got in a good flow, but just continue the thing that we've got to clean up. And have to do better at defensively, obviously, getting off the field on third downs. We were getting them in second and long. We were getting them in third and long. And we've got to get off the field in those situations. The same thing offensively. We've got to convert third downs. I would think that's the story of the day, is just the third down. The turnovers, protecting the ball, trying to get the ball out. We had a huge fumble return for a touchdown in the red zone. Really proud of Zamari. Showing the speed that he's got, and the guys just battling. Two huge stops down in the red zone, one early in the I guess was the second quarter, and then the last play of the game. Really proud of the resiliency of our guys on the last play of the game to get that stop in the red zone when a lot of people would have given up. Not fought to get that stop. Really proud of just the character of our guys, of showing class and character in that situation and getting a stop.
Next question comes from Rod McKenzie from 247 Sports.
Hey, Rod.
Hey, Jeff. I guess, you talked about getting off the field. I think they converted 6 straight third downs in that first quarter. Yep. And it's tough to win a game when your offense only gets one possession in the quarter. But like you said, they kept fighting, and there were times where you had a chance to maybe come back and make a real game of it. Yeah,
absolutely. That the first drive in particular, we had them in third and long, third and medium. Got to get those stops. And it's just, I thought Andrew Thacker called a really good game defensively, moving some stress around. But we continually have to find ways to shore up our pass rush lanes. A lot of them came on just we had great coverage on the back end. And then just the quarterback, he's a really good athlete. He's hurt a lot of people with his feet, but just making sure the pass rush lanes are secure to not let those the scrambles hurt us on third downs as well. But, yeah, the first drive in particular, and then the other thing, Rod, I appreciate the comment, but also when you score a defensive touchdown, then you have to go right back on the field and play defense. That adds to the comment that you made as well.
Next question comes from Kelly Quinlan from Rivals.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, Jeff. I was curious, you guys did the tackling circuit and warm-ups and kind of changed maybe your pregame routine.
Yep.
You feel like that maybe helped the tackling, getting guys fired up a little bit earlier in the game?
Well, I think I appreciate that. I appreciate you noticing that, Kelly. That is part of our process. I've got an echo mic. I don't know. I'm not talking. That's part of who we are. That's part of our identity. In the midst of a global pandemic early on, we took that part out of our pregame routine. I've regretted it throughout the season. And after our guys have, knock on wood, been so good with following our protocols, our mitigation strategies, all the things that we've learned about to play and pregame and practice and meet in this new environment that nobody's ever gone through before. Now that I've learned, we've started adding back certain things, and the tackling circuit before the game was one of the big ones. We've not done it this entire season. That is part of who we are in our DNA, but in the midst of a global pandemic, we removed that piece. The other piece that we removed up until this week were team meetings before practice. We talk a lot about our culture. We talk a lot about building our mindset. Monday or Sunday was our first team meeting that we've had with the ATL team this season in our team meeting room. It was still socially distanced. It was still wearing masks. It was still 6 feet apart. We had a timer set. But the biggest piece of our culture in building it is having those team meetings before practice. We've not done it until this week. And that's on me learning how to navigate safely and healthy throughout this thing. And I just knew how critical it was to get us back in the flow and in the routine of doing those things in a safe, healthy manner. And just, those kind of things that, the first time that a lot of our freshmen that are playing a ton that had a team meeting was Sunday. And those kind of things, those lessons that we learn, the talks that we have, the way we reinforce our culture, I hate it. It is on me, but I've been trying to do everything exactly the right way and learning as we go throughout a global pandemic how to keep everybody healthy and safe. And we've started phasing those things in with the guidance and protocols in place with our medical professionals, making sure we're doing everything we can to keep our guys healthy and safe at all times. But the cultural piece is real here. We've got to continue to build it. You have to continue to fight for it every single day. And again, and I said it on Tuesday, Kelly, I do appreciate your question. I really do, because it's real. You have to fight for it every single day. You have to build it every single day, regardless of the circumstances, regardless in the midst of a pandemic, all of those things, the bonds that are forged around here are real. And we got to continue to build this program, this culture at a high level. A ton of true freshmen played today. We had a ton of guys get dinged. A ton of guys were out. A ton of guys weren't even dressed up. But the guys that came in and battled and fought, just really proud of them. And you saw on special teams was a bunch of young guys, and they went in there and just fought and tried to represent who this program is and fight for the older guys as well. So.
Next question comes from Alex Glaze from Channel 11 here in town.
Hey, Alex.
Yes, how's it going? Halfway through the season, 2 top 5 teams. Just how do you assess where you guys are at? Is it, with the 2 wins, just where are you at going into the bye week?
I think the biggest thing is if you look at just overall the course of what we inherited from a culture, roster, all those things relative to what we do. This is zero comparison. It is just comparing. Things have been done one way, things are being done another way. It is completely different. We are light years ahead than we've ever been at any time. Obviously, there's still a ways to go. Certain positions are developing at a very high level. Certain positions we're continuing to build depth. Different things that we need to continue to do better. But as a whole, just as a culture, as a program, we're light years away from where we have been in the past. The goal, I thought it was very easy last year in the first year, just to continue to progress and to just build on things, get better every single week because we had to go so far. Well, what happens is, and you have 2 good ACC wins when you're picked to be the 15th team out of a 14-team league, and you get 2 really good wins early, things start being viewed in a different lens. My lens is very clear, Alex. I know exactly what we have on this roster. I am proud to coach them every single day. They get better every single day. The culture gets stronger every single day. And the way they battled out there tonight against one of the top 4 teams in the country, there's a lot of good things to build on. There's a lot of things we've got to clean up. But Alex, just to answer your initial question, we're worlds better than we've ever have been, but we still got a long way to go, bud.
Okay, we have time for about 3 more questions. The 3 that we have in queue. We'll start with Ken Segura from the Atlanta Journal-Constitution.
Hey, Ken.
Yes. I'm curious. I'm sure you're not happy about the result, but I mean, do you feel like there was a whole lot more you could have done? I mean, you had the 1 turnover, but it seemed like it was a pretty relatively clean game.
And that was a big key piece, Ken, too. Just not having unforced errors. I thought one of the biggest positives throughout this game, we've had to adjust a lot of things, how we do our cadence, how we do our rhythm, how we do the mic IDs, how we do the snap count with a true freshman quarterback, with a true freshman right tackle, a true freshman running back, Mikey Minahan being inserted at center when he didn't play that last year. A lot of things we've had to go through a process to get it better. Today that was really clean. They jumped off sides, had more penalties than we had. I thought those kind of things we've got to continue to build on, playing clean football, executing at a high level, making sure we've got all the mic IDs and all the protection things that we need to do at a high level. And I thought that was much better today.
Question from Carter Corrales from the South Bend Tribune.
Hey, Carter.
Hi, Jeff. I'm just curious, since you've been able to see both teams play against them this year, how would you kind of assess and compare Notre Dame and Clemson?
I don't want to get into that conversation. I do appreciate that. I understand where you're coming from with that question. They're 2 of the top 4 teams in the country. Understand they might be playing each other next Saturday. And they're both high quality teams. They've got great players on both sides of the ball. They've got programs and cultures and recruiting that has been built over a long period of time and has put them in a position with constant investment to be at a high level in recruiting, in development, and sustained efforts toward those ends that have really paid off for them. And, I expect it's going to be a really good game, but they've got tremendous players. They've got tremendous coaches. And I think we got a bye week, right, Mike? I've been so focused on getting ready for this one. But it's going to be a good game against 2 high quality programs that have been built and sustained and developed and recruited over a long period of time at a high level.
Okay, and our last question tonight is another one from Bailey Johnson from the Atlanta Journal-Constitution.
Hey, Bailey.
Hey, with Jeff's fumble there in the 3rd quarter after he got sacked, how big are things like that in terms of swinging the momentum of the game?
Yeah, we were rolling, right? I mean, we were having some things clicking. We got in the onside kick, cut it within 2 scores, a ton of momentum. Our defense had started to get a bunch of really good stops. So those kind of things you got to capitalize on when you can. But Jeff's a big time player. What he can do, who he is, how he works. There's so many times this week that I saw him throughout the building, meeting with our offensive line, being on the same page. He's got great relationships with receivers, great relationships with our offensive line. You don't see that a lot, especially with a true freshman quarterback. Obviously, they're wearing masks. Obviously, they're keeping their distance, all of those things. But just to see him continue to go out there and battle, go out there and compete. Had some guys along the offensive line that weren't 100%. Some of them weren't able to finish, but we've got a bunch of great guys. The way that offensive line has developed since we've been here, just really proud of who they are and how they go about their business every single day. And then we're just going to continue to get better. We've got a lot of pieces to build on. We've got a lot of really good players. Just excited to get back to work with them tomorrow, Bailey.
Okay, Coach Collins, thank you very much. That'll wrap up
Thanks,
with
guys.
Coach Collins. We'll have student athletes here shortly.